Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 1, To Love and Be Wise. So we're just going to get right on to it. So 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. This spin-off show, 90 Day Fiancé, is when Americans actually move to another country to be with their partners. And and they give up everything that they have here in America to do so. And this show covers their journeys on how they adapt to living the other way in a different country with cultural differences, language barriers, and etc. So we have this season, we have all new couples, or 6 couples instead of 7. We have 6 couples. One of them is a returning couple from Love in Paradise. I'll get to them in a minute. But we're going to start off with a couple, and there was only 4 couples featured in this episode. And so I'm going to start with, what's her name? Jamie and Chris. Chris and Jamie. So Chris is from Alabama. She lives like in a small town in Alabama where it's really church-based. It's a really church-based community. There is like a little bit like a cult kind of. And it's really, if there's anything, like you can't do anything wrong or else you're going to be shunned. It's like one of them types of towns. So Chris mentioned that she kind of has an attraction for women. And she actually has 2 kids who are grown. One is in their 20s and one is 18. And she says she's a single mom. She's been married twice and it just didn't work out. And so she went online and met this girl named Jamie. And Jamie is from Bogota, Colombia. And they've been talking for a year or so, over a year. They never met, and Chris is moving down to Colombia to be with her. Now, in this episode, it was revealed that Chris is planning on marrying her in 9 days. 9 days. They're going to get married in 9 days after meeting each other. Not 90. Not 90. I thought I was tripping when I heard them say 9 days. I'm like, did they say 9 or 90? And I was right. It was 9. They're going to be getting married in 9 days. I'm not too sure about that. And this is going to be like Chris's first serious female relationship. She says she's been intimate before with other women, but it hasn't been, but never anything serious. So she's going to Colombia. Now in this episode, we also met Jamie. And Chris had mentioned, early when they were talking, Jamie had gotten COVID and nearly died. And at first, it was sad to hear that, but then something seemed a little bit off about that story, because Jamie had mentioned that she was ghosted by Chris at some point, ghosted for 30 days, and then came back around her birthday and said that she had stuff, were saying that she had stuff going on. And Jamie had actually started talking to another girlfriend for companion, because Chris was MIA. So, and Jamie didn't mention that she had COVID. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to really dig deep into that, but yeah, that seemed a little bit off in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes. But in my opinion, I see Chris and Jamie's relationship being like another Stephanie and Erica. Looking at the previews for the season, it's going to be another Stephanie and Erica situation. So that's just my opinion. The next couple I want to talk is Jen and Rishi. So Jen is 47 years old, and she does not look her age, and Rishi's 32. Rishi is from India. And, he is a underwear fitness model or whatever. It's just, they only had one scene in this episode, but, I was watching Pillow Talk, and it just seems like a trend, like with older American women falling in love with these foreign model type guys. And Jen had mentioned, she was talking to like her brother, and who was not thrilled with the idea of her moving to India, And I was watching Pillow Talk, and they had mentioned that I think Kenny and Armando said they kind of remind the brother, Jen's brother, kind of reminded him of Tim from Tim and Veronica, who were on Pillow Talk last night too, and they said there's comparisons to that as well. So, I mean, we didn't see much of Jen and Rishi, but we just know that Rishi is a young fitness model. Surprise, surprise. So, I'm curious to see how this plays out, but I really don't know. I don't know, but I feel like this is going to be the most interesting season of the other way is usually the most like more of the love. There's more love on the other way, like it was in the first 3 seasons. Like, you have people like Jenny and Sumit, who were originally on the other way, who got moved up to Happily Ever After. Kenny and Armando were on the other way, and they're, how good they're doing and stuff. And from season 3 of the other way to now, of course, it's all new couples, but last season, all 6 couples from the other way got married and are still married. So I'm curious to see how this season of the other way is going to play out. But yeah, that was Jen and Rishi. There wasn't much of them, but we'll see in upcoming episodes. The next couple I want to talk is Danielle and Johan. So this is a returning couple from Love in Paradise. And go back to my Love in Paradise reviews to see more with their story. But Danielle and Johan, Danielle went down to the Dominican Republic. She's from New York, and he's from the Dominican Republic. She went down there plenty of times to be with them. They got married. They got married last year, and they got married on the beach, and it was a beautiful wedding. And then they had like a back and forth battle where they want to live. Johan wants to live in New York because there'll be more opportunity down there. And Danielle wants to live in the Dominican Republic because she's tired of the busy lifestyle in New York. When we first saw Danielle in this episode, like, she was crossing the street, nearly got hit, people walking past her, bumping into her and stuff. It was just ridiculous. So I see her point with that. But, we'll see. So, Danielle, she says she's a history teacher and does a side hustle yoga class or whatever. And she told her yoga students that it was her last day and that she's moving down to the DR. And then, she told some of her friends that she's moving to the DR. And one of her friends called Johan, I think the words were Sanky Panky, meaning a fitness model from a resort looking for a tourist to fall in love with and get a visa and stuff. I thought that was a little bit rude, but I mean, because we don't know his true intentions yet, but like, I think that was rude at first to say that, just my opinion. But Danielle was just like, Danielle wants to live just this beach lifestyle, just be on the beach every day, just like to be done with life. Like, she's 42 years old. Now, I guess you could say early retirement, but I don't know. You're 42 years old. I know, and I agree. She worked hard all those years, but you're still kind of young. You're still pretty young, in my opinion. And like, she says she has like a plan for when she's in her 60s, but I'm just like, again, you're still pretty young. You still got a lot of work left to do, and you married a young man, and you're going to a country that don't have much financial stability. So what are you expecting? So Danielle goes on. She's going down to the DR, and here's another thing that's kind of irritating me about Danielle. Johan doesn't speak any English, and he wants to come to America. And Danielle said, I gotta somehow tell Johan that, like, Johan thinks that that she's working on a spousal visa, and that he's gonna come to America one day. Well, I just think I think that was just wrong, because like, when you're married to him, you're playing with your husband, and you're just like, you're giving him a lot of false hope and stuff. And I just think they need to have like a real good conversation about their about where they really want to live, because they're clearly not on the same page. Now, to go down there and say, oh, we gotta look for she was saying she wants to look for an apartment, but she don't want to live there for just a year, and stuff. And he, like, Johan thinks he's coming to America, but he's really not. Like, that was just wrong. That's just wrong. And I just think that Danielle just needs to really, really quit playing games with him. Again, you're 42 years old, and just be honest with your husband. That's all I'm saying. And the last couple I'm going to talk is Gabriel and Isabel. So we met Gabriel. This is going to be a unique story, and I'm looking forward to hearing this story. Gabriel is a transgender female to man, and he had mentioned that, like, when he was like in kindergarten, he had one of his sister's friends dressed like a man, and then a couple years later, after kindergarten or whatever, throughout high school, whatever, he came out as lesbian, and stuff. And then just, he didn't know nothing about how you could turn your body into the other, basically to the other gender. But he did that, and now he's happy on who he is. And I think this is the first trans person in the 90-day history. So this is why this story is going to be exciting and interesting. Now, this episode, he sells like these products that make like the man parts and stuff. Like he does some kind of unique thing with Packers and stuff, like some kind of gooiness, like some kind of stuff that just makes like your man package like kind of showable or whatever. And then he goes on this like private pride parade. It was just a one-person parade where he just goes in the middle of the road, and he just has everything off but his underwear, and he just said, I'm trans, and everything. He's gotten a lot of support and stuff. So I give him credit for doing that. I personally thought that was a little bit too much for him to be half naked doing that. But, he's happy on who he is. He said he's actually fully into his transition. He's gotten surgeries both ways, so he's now officially 100% man, and I'm happy for him. So now his love story. He went to Colombia like for his product, and he met a girl named Isabel. Isabel is really close to her family. He had told her that he is trans and everything. She accepted this because she was like, I only see you as a man. Now their storyline is going to be when he moves down to Colombia, that he's met the parents before, but the parents don't know that he's trans, and that's going to be the storyline for them. He met up with his one friend named Keon to discuss his move and stuff. I don't know if Keon was trans or not, but they had a nice little bro-to-bro conversation, and just wished him the best of luck moving down to Colombia and stuff. So I'm curious to see how Gabriel story lines up this season. I'm pulling for him. I'm a person who does not judge anybody on race, religion, gender identification, or anything like that. And I think when these stories come out, like, it's really unique, and that we need to like not judge it, but need to like just know the full story, accept the story. Everybody comes from different backgrounds and beliefs. Some people may have a different opinion about it than others. We just got to respect each other's opinions. And so, like I said, I'm interested in learning his story. I'm really happy for him. I'm happy he even found somebody as well, somebody who's even going to be accepting and stuff, So yeah, and you know, heading back to like Jamie and Chris, Jamie is also from Venezuela, and you know, Venezuela is not the is one of the actually I think one of the worst countries in the world with their economic crisis and stuff. And so, you know, a lot of Venezuelans move over to Colombia or to the DR to have a better life. And she said in Venezuela that, you know, there's not that many same-sex marriages or relationships. And so when she got to Colombia, you know, they're way more open and honest, open and accepting that. And she's like, and Jamie was just like, I could be gay for a day. I could be gay today, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday. And she's like, I'm just gay all around. She said she's been with guys, but just no. And that's why she's with Chris. So, you know, the two couples from Colombia, they're going to have the most interesting storylines this year, because I'm just curious to see how this plays out. But yeah, anyway, guys, that is the end of the review. Before I go, I'll just do a little quick rundown what's going on with the other shows, the other 90 Day shows. David and Annie and Lauren and Lexi after the 90 days. David and Annie, they're trying to get Annie's brother Jordan to come to America. He just don't know what he's doing. He has a girlfriend, and they're taking. Amber and Jordan are taking English classes to try to pass the embassy visa interview, and Jordan is just like last season, just not feeling it. So we'll see how that goes. And Lauren and Alexi, you know, they just got back from Israel. Lauren's taking Hebrew classes because they're planning on moving to Israel, and Lauren and her family are not on the best terms right now and everything. So I feel bad for Lauren, but especially with her being pregnant. And then last, Darcy and Stacy, they just started last week. And, you know, Darcy is just moving on from her relationship with Georgie. She went to a matchmaker. She got on this one date with this one guy. He was okay, but he gave me a little creepy vibes. His name was Mike. He gave me kind of creepy vibes, and she just said, we're better off as just friends. Then she went to a matchmaker, and the matchmaker told her to stop using filters. Thank you. Thank you. Stop using filters, Darcy. And then Stacy and Florian needs to get a job. They want to have this like second wedding for their vow renewal, and they're trying to figure out a place to do it at in Miami. And then Darcy and Stacy are just having conflict because Darcy is now single and Stacy's about to have another wedding. So there's a lot of conflict there. So pretty good. It's going to be a fun, like all these news shows, they're kind of a fun season. So yeah, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday to do Married at First Sight, and I'll see you guys then.